Hey guys, this is Nolan from Natty Nolan. Got a lot of requests to do a Dark World build for the deck that I took to the 250th YCS. Quick notes, I did get to round 9. This is not the skill drain build. I think the skill drain build is very unoptimal. I went X3 drop in round 9. The last round just needed to seize anything that wasn't Kashtira, and it was indeed Kashtira. What else? My two losses, of my 3 losses, 2 were Kashtira, the other was Adventure Sprites. All those games I went second, and also on that, I only went first the entire tournament 1 time. So out of 9 rounds, I went first 1 time and went second 8 times. So definitely if I went first even 3 or 4 times that day and not just once, I would have made it to day 2 with this build. So that is kind of frustrating to know. But we're just going to get right into the build here. So the first thing is 3 copies of Grapha, Dragon Lord of Dark World. It's Grapha, I mean, it's combo, it's extension, it's a board breaker. What else do you need to know about Grapha other than it's a really, really good card? So 3 of him. We're also running 3 copies of the new level 8, which is Rainbow. Again, combo, extension, starter, searcher, level 8 for Gigantic Trainer. Just a really, really, really good card. I would not cut this down any less. I would leave it at 3 entirely. So 3 and 3. We're also running 3 copies of the 3 copies of Genta. There we go. My theory behind this is that you run 1 Genta for every Gates of Dark World in the deck. So if you run 2 Gates, 2 Genta, 1 Gate, 1 Genta, 3 Genta, 3 Gate, it's a searcher, it's an extender, it's a starter. You know, same deal with the big boys up here. And then of course you got to run 3 snow. Same deal, extender, starter, searcher. It's a body to bounce back, and also don't forget that with snow, it's also the fact that you can chain block the search of snow with any of these cards here, because you can go chain link 1 mandatory and then just chain any of these effects, so they have to respond to the last effect on chain, and you'll still get your searches off. Just the same with Rainbow, just the same with Genta. You can just do your mandatory effect first and your optional effects afterwards. 2 Silva. This was really good all day. I ran 2. Some builds are running 1. I would not run less than 2 just because you need the targets for Rainbow, because you're constantly cycling that in and out of your hand, the Rainbow, so you need your search targets for it to be able to chain block. And also, this is part of the combo where you hand rip for 2, which I was able to do 3 times. One of the matches I still lost, but 2 of those matches I won. So this was really, really good. A bit of an odd ratio here, but I did run the Parl still, and I decided to just stick with the 1 Ceruli. Parl came up 3 or 4 times that day on day 1, where I was able to special summon back a Snow as part of a chain block, and then bounce back the Snow to hand to summon Grapha or Rainbow, whichever was in my grave at the time. But yeah, Parl, I think I'm going to keep in the deck. I really liked it. Ceruli, I kept it at 1. I know some people were running this at 2. I don't think that's necessary. I think 2 Ceruli is way too bricky, so I kept it at 1, and it still worked. It's also searchable, so you don't really need more. And then Honorary Dark World, Salamander Catalyzer. It's Salamander. I mean, it's a combo, starter, extension, etc. It's level 4 for Dugares. So really, really good. And also, don't forget, it has a second effect where if a Fiend monster is destroyed by battle, while this card is in the graveyard. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not when a Fiend is destroyed by battle. It's when a monster is destroyed by a battle involving a Fiend while this is in graveyard, and you just add it back to hand. So that was really good. That actually did come up once. Dangers. So we ran 2 Nessie, 2 Bigfoot, 1 Chupacabra, 1 Thunderbird, and then the 3 one-ofs that it's kind of like mandatory, like you have to run them. Yeah, I mean, it's the danger package. When I was going second, just a few notes here. When I was going second, I would board out of 1 Nessie, 1 Bigfoot, 1 Chupacabra, and then I would board out sometimes Tsuchinoko, depending if I felt like I really needed the extra piece. But those 3 I would always board out of because I just didn't want the second copies to brick my hand. I'd rather see like Lightning Storm or Evenly Matched or something else. Another note, I kind of wish I was running more copies of Mothman in the future. I think I'm going to put this up to 2 or 3 and cut out the Thunderbird and Tsuchinoko. This card, Tsuchinoko, sucked all day when I was using it at the YCS. I hated drawing this card every time because it was a body for link material, nothing else. For some reason, it got hit almost every time. Also, on another note, the last match that I lost to Kashtira to, undoubtedly, the reason that I lost was because I opened a good hand. I was drawing, and eventually I deep drawed enough to where I had 5 dangers. No, I had 4 dangers in hand. One was Nessie to search for the 5th, and 2 Dark Worlds. He hit every danger in my hand. He hit all 4 that I had, and then he also hit the search off of Nessie. And I was undoubtedly so mad when that happened. I just scooped up and left. The fact that someone was able to hit 5 dangers in a row was, I just felt like I got sacked by Lady Luck herself. Spells, 3 Dark World Dealings. I know you shouldn't be playing this, but you should be. It's a really good card. It's a combo piece, it's an extension piece, it's a starter piece. And the odds of me playing a mirror match in the YCS was very, very slim. And in fact, it didn't come up. I didn't play a mirror match at all. So the funny thing about this card is it forces your opponent to make a choice between revealing what deck they're playing or getting rid of interruption in their hand, like Ash Blossom or Nibiru, so that way they can still claim deck knowledge for themselves without revealing what they're playing. So this was really funny because every time I activated this, they would end up discarding stuff like Ash Blossom, or they would they would pitch like Nibiru, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Spell. So they're always, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe there's some like more knowledge behind that, but yeah, they would just end up discarding all of their interruption rather than their engine. So 3 of those. Like I said, 3 gates, 1 for every Genta that you run. Yeah, I mean, it's Gates of Dark World. It's a starter piece. It's a combo piece. Lets you draw. Also a little bit of an attack and defense buff. Double Accession. Yes, I played 2. Most builds play 1, I believe now, but I think 2 is really good because it's not just used for the fusion. It's also a good extension and combo piece because the second effect to where you can add it back to hand and for effect discard a fiend comes up a lot, and you can just set this back, wait until your opponent's main phase, and then activate it again. So yeah, I ran 2 copies of Dark World Accession. I just think it's just a good card. I think people should probably run it at 2, but what do I know? 1 Archives, in hindsight, I kind of wish I ran more than the 1 copy of this. I think it outperformed every single time I had it. It was just really, really good. I don't know really what I'll cut. Maybe I'll cut actually I do know a card I'll cut, and it's coming up. 1 Dark World, or I'm sorry, 1 Card Destruction. Might as well be a Dark World card. I mean, it's Card Destruction. It's amazing. What else is there to say? I hate this card so much. I wish I just didn't have to play this card. And in fact, I won't. I'm probably going to replace it with another Archives, Mothman, and probably another Salamander. Every time I use this card, it never benefited me. It was always just absolute dumpster fire draws. Because I had to banish like Rainbow or Grapha, so it just left me with a shitty card in hand that I just didn't need at the time. I'm definitely cutting this. I liked my build before when I wasn't running this, and I was just running more gas. So yeah, I'm going to cut this card entirely and replace it with probably either two more Mothman and 1 Archives, an Archives of Mothman and a Salamander Catalyzer, or some other kind of thing. Maybe even like a 3rd Silva. Extra deck I felt was just kind of standard. Like there wasn't really anything too crazy behind the theory of it. I played 1 BLS link. Yes, this actually did come up quite a few times. I had an opponent try to call judge on me for attempting to banish a token on the field, and I tried to explain to them, like, you can banish face up tokens face up, but you can't banish tokens face down, which is why when cards like evenly match activate, you have to banish everything but the token, because tokens can't be banished face down. So this won me a whole game in and of itself. I played the one Apollosa. Whenever I was able to do the full combo, of course I ended on this with like, it's typically 3 counters. The one Security Dragon and one Akashic Magician. The only purpose for these cards was for the hand rip loop. So, you know, you go Akashic first to bounce back the Ceruli, and if you're able to do it again, then you would link into Security Dragon, pointing to the Akashic Magician, and then Security Dragon would activate to bounce the Ceruli back. Or if you're playing against Cash, you don't even go notice, you just leave them with the Ceruli. So yeah, 1 and 1, and then 1 Avramax, and of course we supplement that with the IP Masquerena. Yeah, I mean, it's even most decks still just don't have a viable out to Avramax. In Kashtira, they have to clash with Scareclaw Kashtira. They have to attack into this just to negate it, and then attack over it again. So yeah, 1 and 1 of those, it was alright. Most decks didn't have an answer to the Avramax unless you're playing Kashtira. Like Adventure Sprite couldn't get over this, so they scooped the game 1, and then game 2 and 3 I lost, but yeah, they just couldn't deal with it. 2 Skull Dread. I mean, it's Saryuja. It was just good all day. You know, the drawing, the special summoning. You know, there just wasn't a reason not to play this card. It was just good all day. I wouldn't play any more or less than 2. I think 2's fine, because if you're playing against Kashtira, you kind of want them to, you know, have their eye out on this one, just to bin 1, leave you with the other. So yeah, I played it at 2. Then the 1 Muckraker of the Underworld. Honestly, I would probably put this at 2. Putting it at 1 kind of hurt when I was going up against Kashtira, because they would always get rid of this. Some of them didn't know what it did, but because I used it in like 1 game, they would just banish in all the others, which really did hurt sometimes, just because, you know, I was looking for more extension for the monsters that I had on board, and I just wasn't able to get there. We are playing actually 2 copies of the Grapha Fusion. Again, just a really good fusion. The Omni Negate, except for quick plays. Huge attack. Part of the hand rip loop for 6 as well. So, really good card. And then the Xyz I'm running, I did change this from the Galaxy Eyes package. It's just this now. It's just the 1 Photon Lord, the Hope Harbinger, and Dugares. Not really much to say about that. It's just, you know, more interruption, more combo or extension. So yeah, that is the Dark World build that I brought. Like I said, I feel like if I was able to go first even more than 1 time that entire tournament, I definitely would have made it today too. That's what hurt me the most, was losing every die roll but 1. So the cards that I'm going to definitely change out are the 3 Allure of Darkness. I just did not like this card. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's optimal. Banishing your combo pieces, your extension pieces, or your starters just is not good. So I'm going to replace this. It's most likely going to be Double Mothman and a copy of Archives. So that's it. If you have any other decks that you want to see, if you want to see what Natty brought, he brought Branded. I don't know if he's going to do deck profile on it or not, but yeah, we got some stuff coming up. I'm gonna play probably Kashtira at locals tomorrow. Bit of an odd build for that one, but I like weird builds. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. So thanks for watching.